everyone. And let's kick off the stream with a big thank you to Fabsh for the biddy donation with the POG 100. Thank you for that dollar, friend. Before we go around and say hello to everyone, let's talk about the things. Check out our social links. You can find our Discord, Twitter, and YouTube all under those links, where you can go and catch this whole season as we are now in finale week. Also, go and follow us on Twitter. Send us a DM. We'll get you in next season. We'll get you playing a game. And Discord, come and be a part of the community. Sweet, you're one of the people on the list. I recognize that name. Hey. Also, please go and retweet the tweet. Let everyone know where you are and where you're watching. And do all of them crazy good things. Let's check out our sponsor information. Check out the Deck of Many, who made the Deck of Many Things with all them beautiful cards. And also the Humblewood setting, third-party content for D&D 5e. It's fantastic. There's some cool stuff in there. Also, check out our fellow sponsors. Oh, that book, by the way, is available for purchase as from November. You can pre-order now, which leads me into Mage Hand Press's Dark Matter system, which is also due to be released on hardback very soon. I believe December time is when they're looking to release. Not sure, but also in December time, we'll be at PAX U working their booth, so come and check us out there. That's all of my things. Let's go around and say hello to everyone. Hey, Jay, how you doing? It's the finale.
I'm thriving. How you doing?
I'm so good.
It is the finale. I'm very excited. I'm very nervous. I have no idea what you guys are gonna do. But like that's all part of the fun. I am Jay, or Jaygon's Gold, and yeah, I'm gonna be running the game today. I guess we can go around based on Zoom. Hey there, Jordan. What's up?
Hello. I am Jordan, aka Sassy with Sander, and I am playing Jamiah Krent today, who is currently playing like the watch person, like the lookout. Not really sure how that's gonna go. Still freaking out because she started so innocent and now she's like a part of like a drug ring. Anyways, super excited to be here. Really sad it's the finale, but also let's like rock our socks off. So
thanks, Jordan. Next up we have got Matt. How you doing, Matt?
Yo, what up? It's your boy. Hey everybody, my name is Matt. I'm a filmmaker. I stream over on the Sinja Stories channel, and as it turns out, I'm gonna be back for another show next season. Playing under I think Alice is the DM for the next one. Anyways, yeah. I role play over on my own channel, playing Dungeons and Dragons once a week, but the rest of the week we do video games and story-based stuff. We do movie nights, all kinds of things. We're doing 14 days of Halloween. So we've got 4 days of doing makeup and costume looks left in us this week. So yeah, we have a lot of fun. I'm playing Benjamin Jackson today for the last time. So
I
would say balls out, but I mean that might be a little bit too close to home on.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at this point,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
but,
I mean, we've got the most shirtless streams just from Benji. Thank you very much to Michael Wayne, who gifts a sub to Renee. It's their 111th sub in the channel, which is just very satisfying for me to see. All them ones in a row. Looks so pretty. Thank you so much, Michael. Renee, you have an advantage to gift to a player of your choice, and I'll hand back over to you, Jay. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Number one. Yeah. No, and if you haven't already, you should go back and check out some of Matt's like past costumes, because like they were a lot of fun, really cool costumes.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we got photos on Twitter.
Yeah.
The one they turned up to in the one shot where Matt just looks continually concerned was hilarious.
And next up we have got Kai. How you doing, Kai?
I'm doing great. I'm very well. To quote Scrat earlier, I'm nerve-sighted. Yeah. My name's Kai. I do nothing but yell on Twitter and occasionally appear here. I will be playing James Hantley tonight, who is not going to jail. I want to state that for the camera.
Yeah, we'll
but we're all not going to jail. No, that's just my my hypothesis for the day. Very sad it's going to be the last one, but tremendously enjoyed it up till now. You've been great, Jay. I'm really excited for what's going to happen.
Oh,
Yeah,
thanks.
I think that can be said enough. Honestly, Jay, solid work dealing with all the crazy shenanigans that James and Daniel have brought to the table. Like, I don't know how you deal with those guys, but I'm here for it.
It makes it super duper fun, and yeah, because y'all are a goofy bunch, and that's like, I vibe with that. So
It's the goof troop.
The goof troop. Yeah.
Renee gifted that advantage to Jordan, so Jordan, you have an extra advantage. I have no advantages. I'm just throwing that out there. Kai has 1, Jordan has 3 advantages and a crit success. Matt has 2 advantages and Jay has 2 advantages. So just throwing that out there. That's what we got.
I'm gonna make sure to. I mean, it's like we gotta end with a bang. I'm gonna make sure to give like a lot of opportunities to roll those dice today. Don't worry.
I'm
But
so nervous about that comment.
I mean, listen. So orderly last week. Last week, our ragtag bunch of suburbanites infiltrated the lab of the local drug cartel, discovering none other than the one and only Mr. Winters, who has some relationship with Mrs. Robinson, the leader of this drug circle, as evidenced by her photos of him in her home and scrapbook, and also referenced in a suicide note left by her late husband. And here he is, old and crazed, bloodshot eyes. It looks like he hasn't slept in days. He's hunched over a table in mostly darkness with nothing but a light shining over his test tubes and equipment. And there's chemicals all around this room. And he, as you walk in, his head kind of whips up and turns towards you. Who was first heading into this room again?
I believe I entered the room obtrusively.
Yeah. Oh, yes. It was obtrusively in addition to all that. So,
Right.
So, you know, as you walk into this room and swing the door open obtrusively, he seems taken aback and startled. He falls back a little bit, and he actually drops the vial that he's holding, and some chemicals break on the floor and sizzle a little bit. And he takes in a deep breath in shock, and he goes, what who are you? What are you doing down here?
Am I holding something? I got like some kind of like a bat or like a pipe or something, right? I've got some kind of artistic instrument in my hands, right? I think.
Didn't you have a gun?
Did I have a gun? All right,
think-
I'll point the gun at him.
Hey. Listen, I'm unarmed.
Yo, all right. This is Benji.
Where's Mrs. Robinson?
I'm going to give you one chance, and one chance only, to answer this question. What is this place?
Well, I can answer that question once you tell me where Miss Robinson is.
You don't want to know.
What have you done with her?
You don't want to know.
Benji, what the hell?
I don't know, actually.
Sir, please step away from the table. Put your hands in the air.
Do what he says.
Maybe we can have this conversation outside.
Sir, I'm not going to ask again.
And he steps away from the table and puts his hands up. He says, why don't we just step outside the room and don't let that door close, whatever you do.
I'm not. I'm holding it tightly. Please answer the question.
What was the question again?
What is this place?
This is Miss Robinson's lab.
Are you Dr. Winters?
Yes, I mean, I think the nameplate says it clearly enough. I mean, it's a little rusted, but
What's your relation to Mrs. Robinson?
I mean, that's an awfully personal question to ask someone that you've just met.
Did you used to work for Mrs. Robinson?
I do work for Mrs. Robinson. I'd be happy to tell you more if we could just step out of this room, please.
Not anymore, you don't. Now you work for him. And I'll nod towards Daniel.
Did you hurt her?
I'm gonna have to let the boss speak for that.
Which one of you's the boss? You there holding the door? Are you the boss?
He ain't the boss. He holds the door. I ain't the boss. I'll hold the gun.
So then who here is the boss?
Benji, take him outside. I'll help. I'll put something between the door.
Boss,
Yes, Benji.
got a new worker for you. And I'll flick the gun towards the door for Mr. Winters. Mr. Dr. Winters.
Yes, Dr. Winters will appreciate your cooperation. For all intensive purposes, James, you can carry on.
Hey, why does this door guy stay open?
If it closes and you're in here, then we won't be able to open it again.
It locks from the... You can't open it from the inside?
No, you cannot. Which is why I've been down here for... I don't know, I've lost track of time at this point. But if we don't get out of here now, then Miss Robinson could come checking in at any minute, and then we'll all get trapped down here.
Drag him outside, Benji.
All right. You can either walk outside or I can drag you.
I'll walk. Thank you very much. And when he starts to walk, like, you can hear his knees like crack, like he's clearly been sitting for a long time.
Did you have any food in there, Mr. Doctor?
I'm not sure when is the last time I've ate. It's hard to keep track of time. But I've had plenty of energy.
Gotcha. I'll pull out a couple of sandwiches and I'll hand one to Mr. Doctor.
Do you have sandwiches on you?
Yeah.
You want to make a preparedness roll for that?
All right.
Whilst Benji's rolling for that, as he's passing, listen, Dr. Winters, whatever Mrs. Robinson has over you will treat you better.
That was right. Sandwiches.
I don't doubt that you would. I mean, it's hard to treat me much worse than I have been treated as of late. But Miss Robinson and I have a long-standing relationship, and I think she's just going through a hard time. So,
I'll say.
Listen, don't do anything rash, and don't hurt her.
We can ask the same questions of you. We'll just cooperate and get along nicely, eh?
Listen, I'm doing what you say. I'm walking out. You know, he makes a show of walking out before you.
Very
and
much
he takes your
appreciated.
sandwich, Benji.
I
Sorry,
have the
what was
sandwich
it?
with him, and I'll just kind of like just casually point the have the gun point at him as I'm eating my sandwich. So what kind of stuff did you do in there?
Well, I mean, if you're so keen on my employment, I'm assuming you
I'm just
know
making
what I
conversation,
do.
you know. I'm just making conversation.
I make adrenalol.
That's cool. That's cool. Did you invent it?
Not by myself, but yes.
I hope Ms. Robinson like paid you for that, because it takes some pretty big brains to do something like that. Inventor.
Oh, she did. I mean, she always has.
That's good.
Until this week, of course. We shouldn't stick around here. If we're going to talk, we should probably get far away from this place.
Okay, yeah, we won't be staying long. Yeah, we just came to pick up a couple of things and then we'll be heading out. You going to go with us?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do I have the option of not going with you?
No, but I'd rather it be your idea than not, you know.
Sir. Where's your list?
I mean, which lists? I make lots of lists. I have
The list with your clients. Or the clients.
Oh, it should be in there somewhere, but I'd prefer to not go back in there, if I'm being honest. I have spent way too long in there. I mean, feel free to look for yourself, but
Benji,
it should be in there somewhere. I don't handle the clients. That's not my list.
Benji, could you hold the door?
I can hold the door.
Doing it?
Benji, why don't you take him out to the RV?
All right. We're going after the RV, Mr. Doctor. It's the big one over there. Also the only one.
Very nice RV you have.
Yeah.
Okay. So Benji and the doctor can walk off to the RV. James, are you gonna be the one to try to find this list?
Yeah, well, James is first gonna take a few pictures of the room for safekeeping, archival purposes. And then I want to use my skill evidence collection to go through the room and like comb out shit. He doesn't even really care about being very like not in the way he did it at Mrs. Robinson's house, where he put everything meticulously back the way he found it. Right now he's like, nah, the doctor's gone, they're gonna know.
With your evidence collection investigative ability, you can you kind of have like this second instinct, this second sense for where something like this would be kept, and you are skimming through piles and piles of papers, because really this room is a complete disaster. And some of these records look like they have no manner of organization, yet you manage to like parse through it, and you're flipping through file cabinets until you come across this list of names, and you recognize at first some of the names from Poplar Lane, and you know it's actually Sheila's name that catches your eye when you pull out the list, but the list goes far beyond the names that are on Poplar Lane. In fact, it's more than just one sheet of paper. It's a thick ass packet of names of clients and addresses and phone numbers, and occasionally the odd note, but It doesn't look like doesn't necessarily look like it's super fresh. You know, it looks like it could have, I mean, especially with like the recent uptick in users of Adrenaline, it could the current list could very well be longer than this, but this is what you're able to find after going through pretty much everything in that office.
All right. I think if it's a big packet, then he's gonna take it. I think. Well, like, would it take a long time to take pictures of every page, or is it like?
I mean, it would take you maybe like 5 minutes.
No, I think he's gonna take pictures of it and then leave the make sure that the text is legible, and then leave the actual list there.
Jeremiah, you're keeping watch. Where exactly are you keeping watch? Are you keeping watch from within the building, or towards the back, or standing towards the front, or just, you know, where are you looking? Where are you watching?
So when they went inside, they had to go into like a little hidey hole, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm right outside the hidey hole in the dark.
Okay.
Just waiting.
Yeah. So the first person you see climbing out of this hidey hole is this old man that did not go down there. But he's climbing up the ladder, climbing out of that hidey hole, and he looks bewildered, and at first a little frightened when he sees you, but and he almost falls back. In fact, he loses his grip on the ladder. And Benjamin, are you climbing up behind him?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you make a scuffling test?
Yes. I'm checking my scuffler. Oh yeah, I got some points in that. I'm gonna put a point in the check, so it'll be a +1. 6.
Nice. So he loses his grip on the ladder when he sees Jeremiah at the top, after being surprised to see her, and he falls back a little bit. But Benji, luckily you are behind him, and have that fast reflex, and you're able to kind of support his back to prevent him from falling.
Whoa there, Mr. Doctor.
A frail old man.
Steady as she goes. All right. I know you've been locked up in there a long time, but let's try to keep ourselves above our feet and our feet on the ground. Well, not the ground, but like the ground that, like the figurative, more. The RV's the RV ground. Hop on inside.
Yeah. He went. You could tell that he's absolutely not steady at all, and it seems like he's running on nothing but adrenaline. Like he's totally wired. But
let me ask you this: from your experience, how long do you think it will take you or another person to get to where they are no longer living after not having taken any adrenaline?
Oh, for me, I mean, I last maybe 12 hours at this point.
Okay.
I don't think others would be as bad as I am. I mean, I'm pretty much running on fumes at this point.
Well, do you have any on you?
Oh, of course I do. And he opens up his white lab coat, and it's lined with bags.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's good. Just, make sure you're taking care of yourself. We want to make sure you're staying live and healthy.
Oh, I'm no fool.
Hey,
That's right.
Benji?
Hey.
You went down, and he was knocked down there. What? Who is this?
Oh, right. This is Mr. Dr.
Winters.
Dr. Winters. And
Ah.
he is the inventor of a general. And so he works for us now.
Yes.
So, Mr. Doctor,
I'm not signing
This is
any
Jeremiah.
contracts.
Jeremiah, Mr. Doctor.
And Jemiah will hold out her hand to shake tentatively.
And he kind of does like a deep like it kind of inhale, like, you know, like someone that like snorts a lot, you know, kind of and struggles to breathe at this point. His nose is kind of damaged.
Ah, yes.
And
The snorting type.
but then eventually he wipes some blood out from under his nose and then goes to shake your hand.
With the same hand?
Yeah.
Ah!
Don't be rude, Jeremiah. He's a doctor.
Uh-huh. And she shakes the hand.
He's an inventor.
Is Benji standing nearby? Because she's
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
wipe
just like
her
kind of
hand
like
on
waving the
Benji.
gun around and stuff.
She's gonna take her hand and wipe off possible human residue on Benji.
What? On what?
Like, oh wait, do you have a shirt on right
No!
now?
You can't just
Of
wipe a
course, on your
grimy hand
arm.
across a dude's chiseled,
I'm gonna wipe it on your arm.
rugged.
Well, we
I
didn't
don't know
see
if
this
you're-
union coming together in the finale, but here we are. Finally, we have a ship.
Oh, bloody abs. Good.
When you say it like that, though.
You should get your friend so we can get going. I mean, the longer we sit here, the more we're putting ourselves at risk. And he actually is like
Well,
peeking around and looking to see if like who's here, like who's in the parking lot and whatnot.
They'll be along. They'll be along real soon, and we'll get going. We got a lot to do. Got a lot
Jemiah?
to do.
Jemiah will probably go down and make sure they don't need any help.
Yeah. I mean, when you walk down, you see first you see Daniel holding the door, but also James standing by the only light in that room, taking pictures of the documents.
Y'all
But,
need any
is-
help?
I think James is just, taking pictures and doing a bit of a cleanup. How are you doing, Jemiah? This has been a stressful couple of days.
Well, I'm alive and not incarcerated, so 2 thumbs up. However, I think we might want to get out of here.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty much done.
Sweet.
I think we can just throw the door closed. It doesn't really matter, really.
Well, I mean, it's openable from the outside anyway, and there's no one else in there, right?
Yeah. So please, yeah. Let's just go.
Thank you for the things. I can see there's things. We have things that have come in. Thank you, Sphinx, for the bit donation, gifting an advantage to me. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Fabs, who also gifts an advantage to me via donation. Yay, I have 2 now. On my microphone. Well, yeah, there's no one else in there, is there? So let's get out of here.
Yeah. All right. Jay.
Alright, you can all head out.
So as they exit the building, I'll like kind of stand in the doorway and be like, "Did you guys get what you need? Like the list or whatever?"
Yeah, I took pictures of it. I took pictures of the entire room and everything. Even if they destroy it, there's
Great.
evidence it existed.
So we're ready to go then?
Where do you want to go?
Well, we gotta like. Don't we gotta like get the stuff, and like start like negotiating like a transfer deal or whatever.
Well, I mean,
So people don't die because we're like the saviors, but not for free. You know what I'm saying? By the way, this is the gun that Benji's kind of using as like a.
I won't do that if I were you.
let's just get out of this car park for now. Let's drive and talk, okay? Somewhere where they're not likely to go, because we've only got, what, 12 hours, if that, until people start dropping down dead.
All right, it was a good call. You got it, boss. And I'll hop in the driver's seat.
All right. James is gonna hop in as well.
I will follow.
I'll get in last, doing the gangster look around the car park.
Yeah, I mean, when you glancing around the car park, you actually don't see any change. All the cars that were there when you got there are still there, and no one seems to be going out or going anywhere at the minute. So you're in the clear. But this man seems very apprehensive. And he's already like going through his baggies. Like he's already digging into his stash. And he seems very anxious. And he's kind of like rocking in his seat a little bit.
Jemiah.
Go on, James.
Yeah, Jemiah, can I borrow your phone?
Yeah, and she'll hand her phone.
James is gonna try to cross-reference names of the lists that he has on his phone with like employees listed of the police, the local police, to see which ones match and which ones don't.
Okay, can you make a, why don't we make that a business affairs roll?
All right, I'll put 2 points in that. How do you do that again?
Business affairs.
You sounded like a robot then. That was beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
sounded really good.
Thank you, Google Translate.
But yeah, no, so you can you cross-reference your list, and you feel like you do a pretty thorough job, and you're able to find a surprisingly, like, there's a lot of cops on this list, which is concerning. And so you're able to figure out which cops are involved in the scheme.
I'm like making notes of that, and I'm already starting to make like, as far as I can on my phone, which is probably a lot nowadays, like compiling a package of all the evidence that I've photographed and retrieved and scanned and all that to like anonymously send possibly to certain targets or multiple targets.
As you're doing that, the Dr. Winters, he pipes up a little bit. He goes, all of you guys, you're all gonna, if you hold on to me, and if Miss Robinson is still out there, you know she's gonna come for you all.
So?
If Miss Robinson is after you, there's a very slim chance of survival.
She might be feeling a little worse for wear after our last encounter.
That's right. Ayo. Also, be sure to cross off all those names, the people that don't need anything anymore. And I'll wink at Dr. Winters.
Excuse me, across names of people who don't need anything. I'm not sure what you mean.
Don't worry about it.
I don't think there's much more need to intimidate Dr. Winters.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
I'm not intimidating them.
Okay. Unfortunately, Dr. Winters, some people just aren't with us anymore.
I'm sorry, I can't understand your accent, sir.
Where are you from?
Right, well, never mind.
So, can I ask you something?
Yes, of course.
I'll just get right to it. Were you and Mrs. Robinson having an affair?
Why should that matter to you?
That's not. Let's just say I'm going to be asking questions and you're going to be answering them, and that's just going to make everything very, very pleasant for everybody here in this RV.
Listen, I don't think anyone would have referred to it as an affair for the last, I don't know, 20 years or so.
How come?
Well, it's not like she has a husband anymore.
Were you two involved before her husband died?
She got a pool boy, though.
Listen, this seems like personal questions. I don't know how this would help you or your business or your gang or whatever you are.
Sir, that is none of your concern whether it helps me, whether it helps her, he points at Jemiah, or whether it helps all of us. I'm the one asking questions here, and you're the one answering them. That's how simple this business transaction works. I'm going to use the investigation skill Intimidate.
You can absolutely use your Intimidate investigative ability, and he seems frightened by your words. All right. Yeah, we were involved while she was married, and then she got pregnant, and it all went downhill from there.
Did you have a son?
I didn't have a son. Miss Robinson had a son. With her husband, of course.
With her husband. All right. Did you ever have a kid with her?
Well, she had the kid.
Mm-hmm.
She brought it to term. I don't know why I didn't told her not to, but she wanted to have the kid, but she also knew that she couldn't keep it because, you see, Mr. Robinson, he killed himself while she was pregnant, and she couldn't bear the thought of keeping the kid that some part of her saw as the cause for his death.
So what do you know about Linda Reese?
Not much. I know that she is the wife of Peter, who I do know is Miss Robinson's son.
Yes.
And I know that Miss Robinson isn't exactly a big fan of the Reeses ever since he left the family.
Are you aware that Linda Reese is dead?
I was not aware. When did this happen?
How long has it been? Like in real time? Like
Tops a week.
It's been like a week at this point.
week.
Yeah.
I would say then
So much has happened.
Oh my
it's been a
God.
wild ride. A week.
Yes, I mean, I hope Miss Robinson didn't do anything rash. I mean, a week ago was about when she started to lose her nerve.
How do you mean?
Well, it started when Peter won the election. I mean, she knew that he was going to try to screw her over, and she was very stressed and upset about the whole thing. And
Was Peter aware of your drug business?
well, I mean, it's a family business, so yes, he was. But he wanted nothing to do with it. I mean, it's part of the reason why he left the family, or at least that's what Miss Robinson told me. I never really had a relationship with him myself. But and he takes a snort of some adrenaline. But you see, when about a week ago, when when Peter won the election, you know, she was very distraught, and it was only, I don't know, maybe a day after that she really started to break down, and shortly after that I wound up in that basement.
The day after Peter won the election was the murder of Linda Rees.
I can't say I understand why her death would affect her so dramatically. Why Linda's death would affect Miss Robinson so dramatically. Unless maybe Miss Robinson did something to hurt her. But I mean, that's an extreme, that's revenge to an extreme extent that I've never seen Miss Robinson do, and especially not to her own son, who, despite their differences, I don't think she would go so far as to murder his love.
James looks at Daniel and Benji and Jemai, and he's like, with like a face like, do you guys want to ask anything? Do you guys know anything? Like,
I have questions, James, but not about the murder. About this adrenarol, Dr. Winters.
And what kind of questions do you have about my adrenarol?
They're a cure.
Well, you can get weaned off with microdoses. But it's not like there's some kind of antidote that will make you unaddicted. It's a slow process, but you can break free from the addiction.
Well, that leaves us with the question, what do we do next? We've got our list of people, a number of these cops are going to be getting a little bit flighty soon. I don't like the idea of police getting tense, shall we say.
That's right. We definitely have to help out with the whole adrenarol situation. How we present this will be the important deciding factor. And exactly who we present it to. Like, I don't think we make individual deliveries.
No. I would say we go to a head police officer that James can identify as clean and just explain the entire situation. Yes, Benji, that does mean that we will not be drug lords.
I'm sorry, Benji. There's always, like, tomorrow.
I mean, when's an RV full of like gold like this gonna fall into your lap again tomorrow? It ain't, most likely.
I hope it doesn't.
Wait,
Yes.
you're just gonna turn all of us in. You're gonna turn yourselves in and you're gonna turn me in? Is that what's happening here?
That's exactly not what we're gonna do.
That's
what
what
are we
it
gonna
sounds
do?
like to me. This plan of yours. Foolish plan.
I mean, if we thoroughly wipe down the RV, and I mean thoroughly, very thoroughly, it will be as clean as possible to present it as such to the authorities.
I mean, maybe. Like, we would have to hit. For that to happen, we would have to hit every inch of the surface.
Yep.
Inside and outside.
Yep.
Because Daniel was cooking in here.
Yep.
Boss is a good cook, by the way, Mr. Winters. And it's been like I don't know, like 14 hours since I've had a shirt on. So
That
like
sounds like a you problem.
I'm all over this place.
That's how far people go to cover up crimes, Benji. That's how it works.
Well, what if we don't got to cover it up though?
Are you volunteering?
What do you mean?
Like, to drive the RV down and go, this is mine?
Well, no, we just never like. I'm not sure I'm following the logic of like going and talking to the police like face to face.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying we present the evidence anonymously.
Okay.
We present them with the location of the RV, which
Right.
is somewhere that doesn't tie to us,
Right.
and let them go collect it themselves.
Right. So when do they give us the money?
They don't.
I don't understand.
What are you all trying to do here? What's the issue? Why
Well,
can't
People got a
Are you,
need.
if you don't want me to as an employee to, then what do you want me for?
No,
What
yeah,
is
you
this
tell-
all about?
what
What's
are-
your
what
end
are you
goal?
thinking? What are you thinking there, Dr. Winters?
I'm thinking I need to get back to work and make sure supply is steady. Apparently, a great deal of product was lost in a recent accident. I'm not exactly sure what happened. Miss Robinson was in a raging fit and she visited me in the basement that day. But I don't think that any authority is going to want to help a whole bunch of crackheads. This has become our problem now.
Well, we did witness somebody die from, specifically from not taking the adrenal.
Yes, that is a side effect, which is
Right.
why I need to resume work as fast as possible, but I'd prefer not to do it locked in a basement.
Daniel, what do you think? Do you think what we have is enough to help people out, to save people?
How long's the weaning period?
Well, it could take a couple months, but
Months, Daniel.
the doses would be smaller, so it's as long as you have a little bit to keep you going, it's not like they have to get a standard dose each day or anything like that, you know.
Initiation. Diminishing returns and all.
You sound like a well-read man.
I'm a pilot.
He drives planes.
Look, okay, let's just explore this as an option, okay? And I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there that I don't like the sound of this at all, right? I don't think there's any way of avoiding jail time outside of skipping the border. But
Or
if we were to step in, help people wean off who want to wean off, but not everyone's going to want to wean off. Some will want to stay on there, yeah. And I mean, if they're gonna get drugs, they're gonna get them somewhere, right? Might as well make sure they're getting safe drugs.
that's right. We're helping people.
I'm the only one that knows how to make this stuff. So if they're gonna get it from anywhere, they're gonna get it from me or Miss Robinson.
The only problem with that plan is we will have to deal with Mrs. Robinson a little more finally. Doesn't taste right in my mouth.
Hmm.
Although saying that, seems that she's caused a lot of deaths recently, and maybe it'd be a bit of a mercy. For the greater good, of course.
She wasn't always like this. I don't know what cracked her.
I'll tell you what cracked her leg. Yo.
What exactly did you do to Miss Robinson? You heathens.
Hey, we didn't lock anybody in a basement, that's for sure.
She's an old woman. These things happen sometimes.
Yeah.
Listen, my mother, when
sometimes
she
people
was
get
in
run over.
her
It happens.
twilight years, did some pretty crazy things too.
What'd she do? Just crazy stuff.
Well, more like running to the supermarket naked and things of that sort. But
Shirtless supermarket, huh?
you can add
Sounds
that
about
to
standard
the
on,
shirtless
Oh,
scenes. You can
no.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
you all are terrible.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I get it. It happens sometimes. Sometimes you get locked in a basement. Other times you get run over. It's all right. These things.
You ran her over.
Didn't do nothing.
An old woman.
An old woman who just shot a significantly younger woman in the head.
That's right.
She
Where's
shot
the youth
someone?
of today going? Into a grave. That's where it's going.
Yep.
Thanks to Mrs. Robinson.
Oh, something must have very much disturbed her
Oh yeah.
for her to shoot someone.
Dr. Winters, I think it's adorable how you're willing to make excuses for the woman, but she's clearly lost it, and she's willing to sacrifice the lives of nearly certainly everyone on that list to begin with, and also anyone who crosses her.
Can you all make can you all make public relations tests?
I don't have anything in that.
I'm gonna add 2.
Do I got any of that?
Listen,
Oh, I do.
I want to
my
use
goodness.
all of these skills. What I'm trying to think, which ones haven't we used yet?
I'm gonna
know what?
I'm gonna add 2 to my roll as well.
I'm gonna burn an advantage. Why not?
Same.
Didn't need to.
Oh.
Ooh,
Hey!
nice.
Okay, so
That's a 5. I added 2 to it.
so all of you are able to get the impression that this guy really knew her. Like, he's known her for a long time, for many years, and he seems like very like this. He genuinely seems very confused by the fact by Miss Robinson's recent behaviors, and as if it's something incredibly out of character.
She started shooting people right after her. You referred to one of the incidents as a love in general being compromised. earlier, around not a week ago, I think. No.
That was a little bit more recent, but still within the last couple of days. Like I said, it's hard to keep track when you're in the darkness of the basement.
Yeah, that happened. And that was a very large stash, as far as we've found, being compromised and exposed to the public. Also, news-wise exposed. And it wasn't short after that she set up a, how do you say that? An initiative to ferry the drugs from the former stash place to another hiding spot, which is also where she immediately proceeded to shoot Susanna Romano.
Susanna Romano. How could she possibly kill Susanna Romano? Susanna was like a daughter to her.
Mm-hmm. No, it was very business-like.
James, don't you have the recording?
Oh yeah, I do actually. I can yeah, let's watch this all together. Just you and me together. He like plops next to the man. And he gets his phone out to show him.
Benji. I'll take the wheel. You,
Right. I'll stand up and kind of swap out, and I'll reach back and I'll grab the gun that I had sitting in my lap, kind of like a phone.
Before I sit down, I'm going to look across to Jemiah as well and give her the knowing eyes, you know.
Still nod.
Sit down and just drive.
Yeah. As Dr. Winters watches this video, he there's a face of just like complete shock. And listen, we run a drug ring, but this isn't our normal operations. We've been functioning for years without killings and death. You know, I don't believe that the police, well, maybe I'm just saying this to save my own ass, but going to the police is certainly a sentence for all of us, and I have no intention of going to prison anytime soon. I've gone this long without going to prison. I'm not starting now at the end of my life. I have retirement plans, and I very much have always imagined myself dying peacefully out in the wilderness somewhere, not behind bars. But maybe we can get the help of some other leadership, unofficial leadership. I don't know. I know that maybe Peter can help us, or he should know a thing or two about why his mother would go off the chain, so to speak, as the youngins say.
I mean, I gotta be honest, I kind of want to know what Peter has to say after all of this.
Yeah, where's he been?
At home, I hope.
Oh.
He was trying to skip town, but I told him I would find him if he does.
Wow, that's intimidating.
He was going to leave his daughter behind for no reason without an explanation.
Just been throwing out those threats,
Really?
eh?
Mm-hmm.
What a guy.
Sir, what'd you say, Daniel?
We've just been throwing out those threats, eh?
Oh.
Yeah.
And then I started driving like Snoop Dogg.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So yeah, should we go pay Peter a visit? Maybe
Yeah.
not in this giant beast.
How
full
else
of
are we gonna
drugs?
get there?
Okay, maybe in this giant beast.
We're just gonna like Uber, like over to his house, like with all the drugs, like in some Uber driver's trunk.
No.
Might be better to get this thing off the streets. Perhaps we should leave it at the, say the airfield.
Yeah, one of the hangars.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's abandoned hangars there. We can use one of those.
Yeah. You can fortify it or something.
Yeah. Fortify it.
Jemiah will look at or point to the doctor and say, "So is he coming with us?
Oh, he's going with us.
Are you pointing the gun at me?"
Like just like kind of as where my thoughts are going. That's where the
Benji,
gun is
maybe
going.
put the gun away.
Jemiah's gonna walk up and can
All of
Jemiah
us.
like grab it, like put it down?
He's going with us. Yeah.
Just- okay.
I'll put it in my pocket of my gym shorts.
Yeah. Just like place the gun.
Jemiah
your
will
shirt-
shake her head and walk away.
He just looks around. He's like, "Isn't your shirt in this RV? You had it on when we were
I don't know.
like, go find it."
I hope I didn't leave it at the digging place.
Go find your shirt, Benji.
All right.
Please.
I mean, I found an old suit in here. There's got to be something.
I'll flex on back to the closet. in the
This is
bedroom
no
in the back or
flex
something.
zone.
Want
Can't
to
help
roll
it.
preparedness?
Yes. I kind of want to roll low, so I can just like continue to.
Do I have disadvantages?
No, you have advantages though.
No.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, there's no clues. Like, Daniel took the last of it.
You,
no
you find
shirts.
your shirt in the waste disposal or something. It got sucked down.
It's like you're going through the closet, something like gets caught on your pants and like, whoop, no. No, there's no clothes for you.
Sorry, James.
All right.
There ain't nothing in this place that fits me.
You're lucky you're hot. Now let's go to Peter.
So you guys heading over to
I think the hangar first.
Yes. Because we gotta build a fort,
okay.
a headquarters.
Daniel
So
just
what-
has his head in his hands so much. Even while driving, he's sort of like leaning on the side window, just like.
What are you so stressed about, Daniel? We're about to have like a home base with so much product, and we've got like a utility vehicle.
You're not helping, Benji.
There are more successful operations that have started with less. You know what I'm saying?
Are you pulling the "they started Apple from a garage" talk on us?
Saying. It's just look around, Daniel.
You
At
look
the air-
around and you see like an empty airfield, and it's kind of sad and lonely, and it doesn't. No one takes really good care of it because it's not like a commercial like place. It's like for like where people keep like their private planes. So
Imagine this place full of aircraft that belongs to you. We've got ourselves a fleet of like aircraft like delivery people.
I mean, it makes no sense what he's saying, but he's sure selling it.
Nationwide.
Actually,
Whoa, no. World.
I'm gonna like pull up in one of the hangars and be like, actually, James, I could use having a conversation with you.
Right? James goes up to the. James goes to the front of the vehicle, like. You wanna like.
Look, there's something in what Benji's saying. Now, I've not revealed this to you before, James, because, you know, you're a journalist and you like to uncover these truths, so I've kept pretty guarded around you.
I'm not a journalist, actually.
You're not?
No, I'm a photographer. That's completely different.
Oh. Well, perhaps my caution has been a little, Anyway. Look, I already know a group of people at various airports around the world that, you know, trade certain items for certain things. I mean, usually it's like trading orchids for, you know, sugar or that sort of thing, but the point is the network's there.
Are you suggesting we start smuggling drugs across the border using your authority as a pilot?
I'm more just soundboarding at the minute to see if it sounds ridiculous, and so far it doesn't.
I mean, that is subjective.
What's your take?
That... I'm trying to find a way to phrase it.
My point of view at the moment is that there aren't many paths here which don't lead to prison, if any. And so if I'm gonna go to prison, I'd like to be able to afford a damn good lawyer and have it maybe be worthwhile.
And I hope you and Benji last a very long time together with your operation.
Right, that sounds like the sort of feedback that's see, that sounds like I'm out, and I'd love to know the why, because I'm looking for a reason, James.
Because I cannot... I'd rather go to jail for all this stupid stuff, do my time, whatever, get out, and still be able to face the people I need to face. I cannot face who I need to face knowing I'm... No, I can't. I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't look. I have a daughter, Daniel. I've been trying for the last 8 years to rack up new points to justify to myself to be able to talk to her again. I can't do that if I'm doing this. I can't. I wish you the best, but I can't.
You know, we've never talked about your daughter, James.
I don't often do, I guess.
don't feel good enough to see her? What is that?
I mean, I'd like to. I guess I'm just not really allowed, I guess.
Not allowed? What, is there a restraining order?
No. I think not. No. No, let's. Her mother doesn't like me anymore. And since I am not. She's not like. Let's say I did make her, so to speak. I did make her, so I have nothing to stand on except for the fact that. Except for whether she would like me. And I cannot come to her. Not, you know.
What happened between X?
She wasn't good for me, and I took 13 years to realize that. So yeah, that's about the gist of it. And I thought that because I went through a very dark time at some point, that she was the only one who would be able to stay with me. I'm like dumping this on you. I'm so sorry.
I asked, Daniel. I invited James. I invited it.
Yeah, no,
I'm interested in your well-being. I am.
I was all right until Linda died. Let's just say that. I was all right.
I saw that. I saw that you were pretty attached.
She was one of the few people that talked to me.
Okay, nothing more there then, just friend.
Yeah, no, I did not.
No, that's...
I didn't fancy her like that.
I wasn't trying to impose anything, just getting a lay of the land.
No, it wasn't like that.
So, I'm not a professional, James. But I'm always around if you want a bally good talk.
I think I'll be good.
Trust me when I say that going through 4 wives, there's been times when I've needed a therapist. One of the biggest things I took away from all that self-improvement stuff is not about self-improvement. It's about self-acceptance.
I've accepted myself the way I am. It's just you know,
Couldn't accept being involved in a drug ring.
no. I spend a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of surgeries to become who I am now. And I wouldn't want to change that right now. So sorry, Daniel, I can't.
No, that's totally fine. I was just making sure, you know.
I mean, if you're really going through with this, I'm not gonna rat you out.
Oh, I trust you. I've made you fish.
That was very good fish.
Look, I'm not decided either way yet. I'll speak to Jemiah as well and see what Jemiah's take on this.
That's fair. James just looks back and he's like, I'm gonna go check whether Benji's actually building a fort here.
Probably is.
I'll just go. Good talk.
James, I'm looking for any reason not to do this. You can find anything through talking to Benji.
I'm gonna try. And I'm gonna be honest, I really hope our answer lies in Peter.
Me too.
James gets up and he leaves the RV to go, or wherever Benji is, he's gonna go look for him.
Yeah, so wherever we parked in a hangar. I would have been looking for spare plane panels to be reinforcing the openable garage door, in case our rivals come to shoot us up.
Mm-hmm.
Jemiah's watching this, just laughing.
This is serious business, Jemiah.
Can you make
Save our lives.
burglary roll?
Yeah. I ain't got no burgling points. I'm gonna roll it with advantage. $2d61? Yeah.
Yep.
5.
So you manage to locate a stockpile of sheets of metal that are used to replace panels on planes and whatnot. And you also find a heat gun that you can use to bend the metal, and one of those a riveter, or I think it's called. Yeah. And all the supplies that you would need to make a bunker.
Yeah. These walls getting reinforced, y'all.
Yeah. And Jemiah, you said you were just gonna observe.
Yep, I'm just enjoying the show of Benji running around, making an adult version of a fort.
Hey, we're not playing Nerf guns no more. All right.
Can you also make
if you're out, then you're out for good.
No, a mechanics roll?
For sure I can. What I got mechanics? Nothing. Damn. Okay. I got another advantage. I'm gonna use it. I've prepared my whole life for this. By prepared, I mean I hoped for this always. 4.
Okay. So yeah, so you go to start fortifying this garage door, or the door used to the door, and but you realize you have a moment where you're about to rivet it in, but then you realize if I do this, then I won't be able to open or close the door. And but if I do it from the other side, I can. So then you remember to walk around to the other side and start and you can start doing riveting the place up and reinforcing that door, knowing that it will be able to open and close.
Yeah, I head out to the other side for that part and say hello.
Yeah, and then so
I'm impressed
James
that we have a rivet gun.
Well, don't they need them for planes and stuff?
I guess.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
she knows.
That's how,
she knows.
No, I don't. So yeah. So Daniel and James, you can wrap up your conversation, and you find Benji Boy Jackson riveting this door, and Jemiah having a good old laugh watching.
Yo, Bob the Builder, what are you doing?
I'm reinforcing this door.
Are you making sure we can also exit?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
double sure.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
good.
check it out, and I'll like demonstrate.
Mm.
I think Daniel might even call it riveting. Because he's from
James
the
just
UK.
walks to Jemiah.
Hey, James.
Hi. How long has this taken him?
Yeah, you know when you left? Yeah, since then. You want to sit? It's enjoyable. At one point, he had it on the wrong side, so then I got to watch him take it apart and put it back together on the other side.
I'm slightly sad I wasn't there for it. Genuinely.
It was comedic gold.
He sort of leans to Jemiah. He's like, I think Daniel wants to talk to you for a bit. Like, just be natural about it. I don't know how he's gonna do it, but like, just so you know.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, you told Jemiah to be natural about it, and Jordan's instinct is don't be natural. So, Jemiah feels awkward because she's always natural. And she'll like stand up and like walk over to Daniel, but she's trying to be natural, but like she's always natural, so she doesn't know how natural is, I guess is what I'm saying. So she like just struts herself over to Daniel.
Jemiah, are you alright?
Yeah, I'm great.
You're walking funny.
Is that natural?
Benji will watch the strut.
That was natural, right? James told me to come over here and talk to you, and he said be natural, but yeah.
Can you make a a conceal roll?
A
See how
strut.
natural this was?
Roll to strut.
I'm gonna use an advantage. I'm gonna use them all on things that don't matter. Well, yep.
It was very natural.
It looked very natural. Jemiah, how do you feel about all this?
About everything? Like drugs and jail time?
Yes.
And breaking and entering? And
Those specific two things are the ones playing on my mind the most. The drugs and the jail time.
well, it's an experience that I've never quite experienced before, honestly. I don't want jail time
Me neither.
at all. I'm not really a drug person, but I feel like I'm in too deep, so yeah.
Well, I'm sort of in the same boat. I think at the moment, if we come forward with what we've got, we're doing jail time. Even if we manage to cover everything up, we're gonna be tied to this. If they take Robinson down or anyone else like that, we might even get framed for stuff worse than we actually did. I don't know how all this works, but I'm nervous about it.
You know, we're gonna go talk to Peter, and that's great. But honestly, just gonna throw it on the table. We kidnap her and get our answers and clean up the mess after. Like social mess. I'm not killing anybody. None of that. And we should really get that gun away from Benji. I don't know that. Yeah, it's.
Oh, once I finished
definitely a
reinforcing, once I finished reinforcing our headquarters, I'm like practicing like whipping it out and like cowboy like.
Benji, stop that. You're gonna shoot something and it's gonna ricochet and you're gonna hit yourself in the head.
Benji,
That's a good
can you
idea.
make a stability roll?
Is a good point. I need to test the gun against the door I just made.
Don't do that. It's gonna be very loud. Please don't. I'm gonna tackle you.
Don't do that.
Then put the gun away.
Jemima, you're quite right. We need to get the gun away from Benji.
You said stability. I'm gonna put a point in it.
Oh god.
5.
Okay. Yeah, no, as you're like whipping your gun out, you could hear like you could hear like it cocks, you know, like it loads, like, but it doesn't, and your finger like almost slips on the trigger, but you were like, you catch it before it does.
Benji, get over here.
Sorry, that was a lot of phallic humor there. All at the same time, just kind of came at me so fast.
I mean, Jemima, we're all on the edge.
Someone's gonna get serious.
Damn it. Oh, jeez, dude. Jeepers. All right. What's happening?
Have you seen Benji? He's scared stiff. Practically rigid.
Jordan quits.
I don't know what's happening. Like, I've lost track. I've lost track of what's happening.
So Daniel was going to talk to Jemima about like the drug situation, right?
Right, okay.
The drugs in jail. That's what was happening.
Yeah.
So, Jemima, look, just as putting it on the table, right? Like you said about cleaning up Mrs. Robinson, which might be necessary. I think there's only 2 ways we can get out of this without doing jail time. One is literally ditching and heading for the border, disappearing. And I don't know about you, but I don't know anyone who can help with that.
I've got a vacation home.
It's in your name, though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that makes it difficult to disappear. This is my point, you see. You've got a clean slate, haven't you? You can't have any ties. Although maybe you could sell that to me under a fake name or something. There's still a paper trail there. Anyway, that's the one option, is we can try and disappear, and maybe there's a way we can make that happen. But just putting it on the table as a purely hypothetical. I know people who import and export goods. We've got a big supply of drugs and a drug manufacturer. We could make it happen.
Can I hear this conversation?
Do you want to make a surveillance roll?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just trying to keep up with what's going on. Keep up with the fam. 3.
You can hear that they're talking, but you can't hear what they're saying. You can hear like muffled talking.
Okay.
What's your reaction to that, Jemima? Just knee-jerk reaction.
I don't hate it. I don't love it. I would like to continue to live my life in peace, but the scandal's kind of exciting. I just don't want to go to jail. So whatever we have to do to not go to jail, like, I'm in at this point. I've come this far. I tried to keep my nose out of it, and I ended up face planting, and so we're drug dealers now. Yay!
I mean, we could
She's
do
nervous.
we could do right by our customers, though. You know, like clearly this drug is too deadly. We could wean them off of this and put them onto something else that's, you know, not as lethal and perhaps, I don't know, as stimulant or something. I don't know. They're gonna get drugs somewhere, is my point, aren't they? We can wean off those that don't want to be on the drug. That's fine.
I'm in. She goes like from very uncertain to all of a sudden she's like, yep, all right, here we go. Let's go.
I mean, I don't think we even need to talk to Benji. Benji's in. James is not. James does not like this at all.
That's fair. That's fair.
In the distance, you can hear glass crack from there's like a kitchenette room, like a small little kitchen area in the hangar that you saw Dr. Winters scurry into, and you can hear some glass crack from in there as you're having this conversation.
One of us is running.
None of you guys are watching the doctor? Am I the only one doing work?
Benji, you're doing great.
I'm gonna start running towards the glass.
Jemiah will follow.
Yeah, when you walk in, you see the doctor seems to have emptied the contents of his jacket and has taken glasses from the kitchenette and filled up cups with different powders and liquids that he had stored in his lab coat. And it looks like he's already, whoa, fuck, okay. Sorry, my light just fell, but it's all good.
I thought that was a description of the doctor. Like, what?
I thought it was too.
No, my
He's
light,
like,
I saw it
whoa.
like tipping. But it's all good. So the in fact, I think I like this lighting better anyway. So but the
doctor, what's he doing?
Yeah, it looks like he has everything laid out, and he there's broken glass on the ground. It looks like his hands are shaking rapidly, and he dropped a glass, but it appears as if he's like setting up a workstation, like he's about to like get back to work. He's ready to get cracking and crafting. Nothing to worry about in here. You can go back to doing what you're doing. I'm just getting set up.
All right. Do you have everything you need?
Not nearly enough, but I can make do with what I have for now until you're able to retrieve the rest of my supplies.
Make a list of what you need. We'll bring it when we have time.
Not necessarily the things that you had, either. Give us a list of the things that you would ideally have.
And what do you mean? We've been working on this recipe for years.
I don't mean ingredients, I mean equipment. Let's say your, I don't know, whatever it is, beakers are getting a little bit old and dirty. Maybe you need some new ones, I don't know. Whatever you need, you let us know.
Well, that's very accommodating of you. I will make a list. And he'll rummage around, because I'm thinking fumble. He's fumbling while rummaging around for his pad and pen that he does keep in his coat. His coat seems like Mary Poppins' magic bag. Like it just like he just keeps stuff keeps appearing from it. But he pulls out a pad and paper and he starts scribbling a list, although not the most legible of lists because his hands are very shaky. You can't tell whether it's because of the Parkinson's or because of the fact that he's so tweaked out. So, but yeah. He writes up a list for you and hands it over. It has like a number of ingredients, but it does also list it. Beakers and stirrers, like those magnetic stirrers, and science stuff that I wish I knew more about. And those pH sticks that you put in, that change color. And there's some other science things that people use. Goggles.
Like my
Goggles.
first chemistry set.
Goggles, that's for sure. And also those alligator clip wires that you use on potato clocks, and the potato battery. Yeah.
One crazy recipe.
Like jumper cables.
Jumper cables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creating
For his
Frankenstein's monster in here. My
for
God.
his nipple clamps. I know. But
Nice.
Yeah. And he hands that over to you. Well, you guys should go figure out what the plan is. Just don't come back with any police officers, please, I beg you.
It's not looking like that's the route we're gonna go down.
Glad to hear that. It's a stupid plan, if you ask me. You have so many opportunities in front of you. Why would you fuck that up with the police? With the police?
Yes, indeed. Alright, well, if you're good in here, you carry on.
And if you could get it out of this without offing Miss Robinson, that would be ideal.
I think that's largely going to be down to her, old chap.
Maybe I could talk sense into her if
Kept
you
you
gave me
locked
the
in a
opportunity.
basement for the last week after killing a number of people that you said she saw as family.
Well, what's
I
the worst she
feel-
could do? You hit her with a car.
See you as a loose end, decide to off you. There's only one kind of bump I want to see you doing, and that's adrenaline, and preferably to wean yourself off of it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll let you know if we need you when we talk to her, if we talk to her. Until then, do your science. Daniel, do we want to go?
I think so.
Yeah.
You guys hear the engine of the RV rev up, and then it turns off. Sorry, I forgot that we're not taking this. I was excited. How are we getting back to Peter's house?
Should we get Helen to give us a lift?
That's fair. That way we can't get tracked.
What time of day is it? Because it was like really late at night.
Was it?
It was, yeah.
We went around 11 to the lab.
Yeah.
Okay. It's probably like the early morning.
Mm. Yeah. That's a good idea, Daniel. Can you have her stop by like
Very
like-
early morning.
like Mickey D's on the way
Mickey-
over?
Mickey D's, is that a new one?
No, man. McDonald's.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yes. Really? You shortened Mac to Mickey?
Mickey D's, bro.
Yeah.
We'll see what Helen's got to say about this.
I think it's a British thing to not like that.
I know you ain't from here, but listen, around these parts, We call McDonald's Mickey D's now.
Aldrian, thank you for that raid. Welcome in. All right, so hello, Helen.
Daniel, is that you?
Yeah, it's me. How are you doing?
Daniel! Oh my gosh, it's been so long.
Is she drunk, bro?
You all right, Helen?
I'm great. I was just so worried about you. You were gone for so long, and I had no idea whether you were even still alive. And the girls went to sleep, and Mama needed something to soothe her down.
Yeah.
Are you a little bit half cut?
Quarter cut.
Right. Well, good. I just thought I'd check in. We're okay. We might end up participating in some kind of party. We're not sure we want to get involved with, but we're looking at our options and seeing if we can avoid the invite. I'll give you another ring in the morning and see how you are.
Well, what were you thinking, Daniel? I mean, right now there's a lot of police activity and on the streets with all the people dropping like flies left and right. I don't know if you've heard.
Are people dying?
I'm pretty sure at least a few people are dying, but more than a few people are getting ran over to the hospital. I mean, I don't know whether or not they're dead or alive, but they're doing what they can. I don't even know if they have enough beds. People are getting flown out. There's even helicopters and shit.
All right. Well, listen, Snoogie Bear. I'll be back later on tonight, okay? And we can maybe I'll give you that good attention that you love. But for now, I've got some more business to attend to before I can wrap up for the night. We're gonna try and save some people, okay? So,
Okay, let me know if you need my help. You know, we make a great team. I think that I'm a great addition to your team.
You are the best addition to my team. And I cannot wait to get more involved with you tomorrow. That'll be fantastic.
Oh, you're the best, Snuggly Puff.
No. Stop that. I'm at work. I'll catch you later on.
Oh. Catch you later. Bye.
Bye now. Bye. Yeah, love you.
What just happened?
Everybody's staring at Daniel.
I think that's a marriage that does work.
And what did you mean by get involved?
How dare you listen into my private conversation with my wife, Benji? Listen.
How dare you use the word Snoogie Bear at all?
In front of us.
They've got a point.
Listen, the point is, Helen can't drive right now. She's off her face. Absolutely gazeboed. Trolleyed.
Oh.
She's taken her wheelie bin around the block. Absolutely out of it.
Do we know anybody else?
Uber.
I mean, we could walk a distance and then take an Uber.
Isn't there let me try this, Mickey D's, like a little way away from the airfield?
I'm sure. I mean, it's like a Starbucks, and they got one on every other corner, like a couple of blocks.
So novel.
So we could probably go there, like you're suggesting, get some breakfast. And then,
get some breakfast while we wait for the Uber.
Yeah.
Do we want to let Peter know that we're coming?
I think a surprise would be better.
Yeah, I was thinking so. It's also ass o'clock in the morning. So, we want to bust in at 5 a.m.
Doesn't Peter normally jog in the mornings?
Does he?
Yeah.
Yep.
Might be better to catch him at his own house.
You think he'd be jogging this morning?
Well, I'm thinking we get that just before he leaves. At least we know he'll be awake. But also, we should be aware there's a lot of police around. Apparently people are dropping like flies. So perhaps we have a bit of a dual mission here. One of us gets the Uber to Peter's to try and make ends meet, I guess. And perhaps we could do a delivery, a mysterious delivery to the hospital of drugs. No information whatsoever, just leave a dead drop.
They're gonna throw that away. Like I said earlier, like if I would send like a pound of like methadone to the hospital, they're not gonna go like, wow, thanks. This is great. We're gonna use this on all our heroin addicts, even though it helps.
Well, how can we help these people, Jim?
I don't think we can, and honestly, I don't think it's our responsibility as much as what we can do is trust on what the doctors can do, because what we've seen is that Sheila went down, but Sheila also had no treatment whatsoever. She just succumbed.
That's
And
true.
we've not seen what like they can do at hospitals to either stabilize or like fix him, if you get what I mean.
I'll tell you what they can do. They'll take all of your money for the rest of your life. Let's slap you with a $200,000 medical bill.
That is very true, but it's not up to us to fix the insurance crisis of the United States of America.
No, it's not. But we can help. In the meantime, while they figure all that shit out.
By giving drugs to a hospital.
No. By providing drugs to the people that need it to stay alive and not charging them a house.
You suddenly hear the screech of tires skidding outside the hangar.
Benji, pass me your gun.
I have the gun out.
You have another one?
Only these. I like flex.
While Benji's can I take the gun?
Okay.
There's like
Yeah,
honks.
I think that's your wife.
I look outside.
Whose car is outside? Yeah.
Yeah, you look outside and Daniel, you see your lovely wife like hanging out the window. She's in a bathrobe. She's like, "Come on, Daniel.
Yo, Helen's
Time
here,
to
bro.
go."
She doesn't have to drive back.
I'm driving.
Yes, you are.
She's just
not.
honking like crazy now.
Oh
She's
my
just-
god. Okay,
I'm not.
I'm gonna rush out. Helen, darling, so good to see you. Did you drive here under the influence?
Listen, I'm fine. You know I'm good under pressure, if you know what I mean.
We'll talk about this later, I suspect. How about I drive back, though?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can drive back. That's fine.
We're gonna hit some McDonald's. Helen, you hungry for breakfast?
No, I already had a little snackums. I think I'm just gonna take a nap in the car, if that's all right. I'm very tired, but I just thought I should help you guys out. Daniel, you sounded a little stressed when we spoke.
I was feeling a little stressed, and I'm much better now you're here.
Aw.
Okay, let's get going, shall we?
Let's do it. Delightful to see you, Helen.
Delightful to see you, James and Benji and Jemiah. Everyone in.
So I'm gonna start driving to Mackie D's.
Yeah. Wait, did you say Mackie D's?
I did.
Mackie.
No. Okay. It was Mickey D's.
Mackie D's is valid.
Yeah. What are your orders?
Because it's not
I mean,
Mac.
like-
It's not McDonald's. It's McDonald's.
It's
So it's Mickey.
McDonald's.
It
No,
even
it's
says
McDonald's.
Mac, doesn't it?
But it's McDonald's.
No, it's
And-
not. It's not from like Ireland.
McDonald's. Like no, it's. I eat at
Mick.
McDonald's.
Mick.
Like
It's Mickey.
No,
What?
What?
like it's not fancy enough to be McDonald's.
That's how
No,
you. No, what?
it's Mick.
Old
McDonald's,
McDonald
Mickey.
had a farm.
I'm dealing with a culture shock here
Old
right now.
McDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O.
Yeah, yeah.
Y'all want to go to McDonald's?
Yeah.
No, it's McDonald's, bro.
Old
Like legit.
McDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O.
I.
No.
I mean,
Give it unto me one Mac Whopper, please.
Then where does the
Mac
Australian Maccas come from?
Well,
Tell
I
me,
have a
where does
Mac
Maccas
Berry.
come from?
you have a Big Mac, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not
Yeah,
the Big
but
Mick.
But
Not a
it's
Big
spelled
Mick.
M-A-C.
it's different.
No, but that's a Big Mac. That's.
But okay. But
What?
wait.
This argument is crap. What do you mean it's different? Big Mac.
That's the Big Mac, bro.
That's
That's
a
the
Big
Big
Mac.
Mac.
It's just
But
an
it's not
iconic
The
McDonald's.
burger.
McDonald's.
It's just the iconic. You don't call a Whopper a Whooper. You
That's
call
right.
it a Whopper.
That's a
No,
good
you
point,
call
That's
Big
Jay.
not
Mac
in the
a Big
name.
Mac.
That's a good point, Jay.
Why'd you bring a Whopper into this? Leave them alone. They have nothing to do with it. Anyhow, I'm getting a vanilla milkshake. I don't care what you guys get.
I'm crying. Chicken nuggets.
Ignoramus.
I'm gonna get some Mick nuggets and some Mick bacon, egg, and cheese.
I'm gonna get a sausage egg Mac muffin.
Oh man,
Yeah.
everything hurts.
And you
Try to tell us how
successfully
to.
order from McDonald's, although it takes you about half an hour to get your order because the cashier like just doesn't understand you, Daniel. Like he's just like, what are you saying? Like say it slowly and clearly for me. And you keep saying Mac whatever.
Mac
and
nuggets.
He's just
Mac
like, what?
nuggets.
He's like, what's a Mac nugget? Like I've never heard of this before. You know, it takes him a long time, but you finally get the message across. You know, you
Bro said Mackie D's, man.
But yeah, and you can enjoy your food as the sun cracks over the horizon, and there's helicopters flying overhead. It feels like, well, this is it. This is the end of the fucking world, and you're here eating McDonald's. You know,
What kind of car is this?
what kind of car is it?
Mercedes, yeah, Mercedes long estate, probably like a 70s Mercedes.
Mm.
72, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember what marks there were in those, but E778 or something like that. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't think I'm gonna.
we
spray-
could call it there. Like we could just say.
I'm not gonna bring it up with I'm not gonna bring things up with Helen now. Not while she's drunk. I'm gonna talk to her about all of this when we're sober and make an informed decision. But so far I know Benji and Jemiah are into this. James is not.
Yeah, right now she's actually she's like napping because she's tired, you know, and too intoxicated.
But we're headed to Peter's house, right?
Peter's house it is, yes.
Yeah.
Let's do a slow drive by Mrs. Robinson's house as we go.
Right. Drive by. Got it.
No, don't shoot anyone, Benji.
Keep the gun not
Right.
out.
Can I attempt to disarm Benji?
You can try.
Please don't. You're gonna shoot each other.
Are you gonna resist, Benji?
Oh yeah. I'm keeping this gun.
No.
Okay. Why don't you make opposed? So what, Jemiah? Why don't you make a filter roll, and Benji, why don't you make
Athletics.
athletics?
I would like to use my crit success.
Oh my God! No! I was gonna put 8 points in it, man.
You can absolutely use your crit success and nimbly snatch that gun out of his
Man.
fingers without
Fine.
managing to push any buttons.
I will immediately throw my hand up in the air and say, "Got it!"
Please.
Do you fire like through the roof? Like,
I know it's an open carry state, but please.
Oh my god, wait, is Pennsylvania open carry?
Pennsylvania is like
I did a
As
lot
far-
of research going
as
into this
far
game.
as guns. As far as guns goes, Pennsylvania is like you're having a great time there with your guns.
Oh, wow.
There's no registry. There's no.
Please stop. I'm visiting Pennsylvania like next month, and you're making me terrified.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I've never I've been to at least I've been to Philly a lot. I haven't really explored Pennsylvania, but I've never seen anyone just walking around with a gun. So I think you'll be okay, hopefully. But you can so you're doing a drive-by of Miss Robinson's? I mean, not a drive-by, but you're driving
driving
by.
We're driving by. Little look-see.
Okay. Can you all make surveillance checks?
Benji and Jemiah are fighting over the gun in the back. Quit it!
And by fighting, I'm winning.
I'm gonna put 2 points into this.
I'll put 1 point into it.
Damn.
Ooh, nice.
2. I'll come back.
Those rolls aren't showing up on my roll 20.
I got a 4.
Okay. So with your 4, they just popped up. Okay. And Jemiah, especially you, with your 6, you don't see anyone in Miss Robinson's house or pulled up to her house. But as you pass Miss Robinson's house, you also pass by the Goodman's house, and you see that the bodies that were there are no longer there. And the Goodman's car is still in their driveway.
That's good.
But the body of the pool boy and Sheila are no longer there. And Peter's car is on his driveway.
Do we want to go over now?
Seems as good a time as any.
All right. Maybe we should usher
Yeah.
Helen in first.
Yeah.
Um,
Completely agree. And then we go to have words with Peter.
Yes.
Daniel will take a big moment on the doorstep with Helen, like, you know, giving her kisses and like hugs and all the rest of it, and like, you know, making sure that she's feeling very, very attentified, and then sneak back over towards Peter's house. Every inch a crime lord.
Or is that are you in fact sneaking? Is that the plan, or
I don't
are
think
you
so.
trying to sneak up to the house?
Can I try and like secure like Ellen's position though by like, I don't know, flirting or something, or maybe flattering or something like that to try and like.
Go. I mean, investigative abilities you can use whenever, however.
Yeah, I think I'll use like flirting to try and convince her to go to bed. You know.
Okay. Yeah. So she's under the impression like she's waiting for you to join her, but she thinks you're coming any minute, but she'll probably fall asleep before she gets the chance to really
Perfect.
get upset about that. So,
Perfect. Yes.
the rest of you, are you guys all going up to Peter's house, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Affirmative, Ghost Rider.
All right. As you approach the house, you can hear bickering from inside. And it's not hard to identify the voices of Henry and Peter, with the occasional Lawrence chiming in. But it doesn't, but it's muffled. It sounds like they're talking loudly, but you can't really understand what they're saying, as they sound like they're probably in the basement and they're just like that loud that that you can hear it from the top floor.
Is Daniel with us?
I'll hurry along after I've put Helen to bed.
Benji, you want to do the honors and really give some good knocking?
Oh yeah. And I'll well, hang on. Did you mind give me the gun back?
No.
All right.
But Jemias also doesn't know how to use a gun, so she's just
Oh
kind
my
of
God.
holding it.
I've only just seen it as well. Thank you very much, In Wills. Free advantages to Benji.
Hell yeah. Thanks, Inmos. I'm gonna knock real big on the door then. Feeling invigorated and like I don't even need a firearm for whatever it is I'm about to do.
Okay. You can give a big old knock on the door, and the muffled yelling doesn't seem to stop. It's almost like they didn't hear you, but the door does swing open, but it looks like no one's there. And then you look down and you see there is someone there. It's a small Sally Reese standing in the doorway, and she looks worried.
Sally, good morning.
Hi, guys, come in. And
Yeah.
she brings you on.
Is your dad in?
Yeah, he's in the basement with Lawrence and Henry.
Oh.
They're really bad.
Okay, we'll stay upstairs, okay?
Okay. Jemiah, is that you? And she kind of like peeks around over Benji.
When Jemiah walks in the door, she's gonna like hide the gun behind her back.
Can you make a conceal?
Oh no.
Pass it
I
around the
wanna
back to the, just like a.
Oh.
Yikes!
Darn it! No.
Jemiah, why do you have a gun?
That's a good question,
Why
Sally.
do you?
No. Wait a minute. Benji had a gun, and I'm
Jemiah.
safer with a gun. I'm not gonna. No. Do I know how to take it apart?
Can you make a shooting test?
Oh no.
You have an advantage. You do have an advantage.
I would like, she's like,
Yeah.
I would like to rid the gun of ammo by firing all of the rounds.
I'm going to use my advantage because I'm terrified.
Don't shoot the child.
Oh wait, well, yep.
All right. You're able to disassemble the gun, and demonstrate to her that I don't want any more guns in this house. You know, first between my mom and the Goodmans, and no more guns. And she's really freaked out by the sight of your gun.
So I was able to take it apart.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give part of it to James. Is James still here?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm like standing behind you, probably.
I don't know how I took it apart. I assume I took the ammo out of it.
Yeah,
Take the clip.
take the magazine.
Or whatever. I don't know weapons. So I'm gonna hand part of it to James and part of it to Benji.
Give me the part that
No.
listen, give me the part that I can still, like, if I need to intimidate somebody.
I'll take the ammo.
Okay. Jemiah starts to hand the gun part to James.
Because I mean, like,
Wait,
And
stand
then
back, you! I have
what are
ammo.
you doing with that? Leave that outside. No more guns.
Hey, come over here. And can I like get her to go and sit down away from, or not away, but like sit down with me?
Why don't you make a hypnosis roll? Because like I just want to use these skills. I just
Ha ha ha.
Come to me.
This is a 5. Or under my spell.
You're
Um,
under my spell.
Yeah, so you motion to the couch and her eyes follow your hand and you point to the couch. and just like as if you had some kind of like hypnotic powers. She's like, yes, Jemiah. And she walks over to the couch.
Jemiah looks at everybody and goes, I have no idea what just happened. And falls.
I'm glad your Maya's in.
So, but you never told me what happened with the gun.
Well, it was hard for me to talk about. You mean with my mom?
Yeah.
Well, she was really angry that night.
Yeah.
Really angry at my dad. And I don't know why. She was crying all day. She just, and then she got the gun. And I saw her. She was running across the hall and she was going to go into the bedroom, and I thought she was going to hurt him. But I didn't know what else to do, Jemiah. And you could see she's nervously pulling at her hair right now. Like she's like ripping out a lot of hair.
Okay. I'm going to grab her hands nicely and put them down. Is there like anything like, is there like a cup holder or like a, sorry, not a cup holder, but like a coaster? Is there like a coaster or like decorative stuff that's like small?
Yeah. There's like a bowl of like potpourri, like little like pine cones and stuff on the
I'm
table.
gonna grab one of the pine cones. This is really weird. And I'm gonna put it in her hand so she can mess with that. And I'm gonna like look around and be like, take a deep breath. Everything's okay. Do you want to go hang out at my house?
No, I don't want to leave my dad here with them. They're angry. But Jemiah, I need to tell someone. I haven't told anyone. And you're the only one I trust right now, besides my
Okay.
dad. And I don't know if I can talk to him again right now. But when I saw my dad, when I saw my mom, when I saw her go after dad, I jumped to stop her, and she fell, and I didn't mean to push her, but she fell, and the gun went off. But that's not what killed her. I'm the one that killed her. There was I could still hear the snap. It wasn't the gun. It was me.
Whew. Jemiah is going to hug her.
And she'll hug you back and cry, but she feels like, you could tell that she feels incredibly like comforted by your presence, and that like you being there for her this whole time has really meant so much to her, and she's really like latched onto you throughout this whole process, and has and it's really just, you've been like her saving grace, so you get like bonus points or something. That doesn't exist, but you get it.
Bonus points.
Yeah. Because Sally needed someone. Like, honestly, you guys are so cold. Like, just leaving Sally in the dust. Like, Jemiah's the only one who cared. And, okay, so
while I'm hugging her, I will look back at them and like expressively like give them the like go for it.
Right. Jay, can I use an investigative skill?
You absolutely can use an investigative skill. What would that be?
Can I use forensic psychology to see if Sally is actually speaking the truth, or if she's showing signs that I know as a former cop that children or people show when they're trying to protect somebody?
I knew you were a journalist.
I knew you were a journalist. I can't stand you, dude. All right. Yeah, so you read her body motions, like you're looking at Sally's like the subtle movements in her eyebrows, how she's using her hands, and the tone of her voice, this like, you know, and you're like kind of like breaking down, analyzing her movements, and you reach the conclusion that she is very much telling the truth. She saw her mom going after her dad, and it looked like she was out to kill him, and so she stopped that from happening, and in the process accidentally killed her mom.
Well, Jemiah, are you getting her out of here?
Are you you're verbally asking me that?
Yeah, I'm verbally asking you
that. We're gonna go upstairs to her room.
All right.
And I'm going to guide her to stand up and walk her up the stairs to her room.
So Sally will follow you, Jemiah, and and take your hand and go with you upstairs to her room. The rest of you still hear this screaming go on in the basement. Then you hear like a thud against the wall. It almost sounds like someone was just like thrown against the wall or something, but there's some commotion going on in the basement.
James, I think we need to head downstairs.
Let's go.
I'll be right behind you.
I guess I'll lead to the basement. I'm doing like the tactical thing, like stop.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Sorry.
You still got the magazine on you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep it with you.
Jemiah's full intention is to try to get her okay enough to stay in the room by herself. So if at any point Jemiah can slip away, she will. But if she feels like she can't, she won't.
Yeah, I think Sally actually she thanks you and but then she like asks you, she says like, go help my dad. Like she wants you to go and join and help her dad. So how do you want to go about entering this basement?
James, Benji, put the gun back together.
Oh, hang on. Let's not show our hand just yet. You know, because
Uh-huh.
if they got guns, we don't want them to, you know.
Yes, but if they have guns, it might be difficult to transition the magazine back across to the gun. Put it back together. Personally, I'd like James to have it.
I have a gun.
You have a gun?
I had the shooty bit. You got the bullet.
James lifts his shirt and he shows a gun just like tucked between his waistband.
Nice. Yeah.
All right, that makes me feel better. Okay.
Just keep the other magazine on.
Yeah.
Magazine's not threatening.
All right.
If necessary, I will shoot.
I trust you, James.
Yeah. I'm not gonna kill anybody, don't worry. Do we want to enter slowly or?
No, I say we just go on in.
Alright.
Benji style.
Then I guess James is gonna enter obtrusively.
Yes.
And he's gonna use I'm gonna use authority to go, nobody move.
And when you walk down the basement and you shout nobody move, you come across a scene. This is an unfinished basement. It looks like they were in the process of renovating it. So there's nothing but there's hardwood floors, but the walls are like totally like there's nothing, like it's exposed insulation and whatnot. And you see Peter has blood. He's on the ground and slumped against a wall, but he's present, you know, and he's kind of like holding himself upright against this wall, and he has blood dripping from his mouth. It looks like he was probably punched in the jaw. And you see Henry is angry. His face is red. You've never seen him so angry before. And he's even crying a little bit, and he's like trying to like lunge towards Peter, and Lawrence is seems to be like holding his shoulders back and like trying to hold Henry back, but Lawrence also looks furious. But they stop. Everyone kind of stops and turns to see who entered.
What's going on,
James.
fellas?
James takes his gun out and he goes like, you, one wall, you, there.
And Lawrence pulls in Henry and pulls him back against the wall, and Peter's not moving. I mean, he's like just like slumped there, like looking at everyone, like very like confused and suspicious. And Henry's like kind of like, it's that pervert, and he's screaming at Peter.
I'd appreciate it if you would calm down and use capital letters and punctuation. Explain.
It's all his fault. It's all his fault that all of it. And Peter tries to cut him off. Yeah, it's my fault that I'm trying to help this town, that I'm the only one that gives a shit about any of these people's well-beings on Poplar Lane and Pennsylvania, in the state of Pennsylvania. No one else gives a shit, you greedy bastards. And Henry's like, everything was fine until you had to go fuck it all up. And Henry looks towards you. Do you know this man? This man, what he's done, the lies he's been keeping from all of you all these years. All these years.
Enlighten me.
Tell us about it.
I'm keen to know.
This sodomist, his wife is his sister. This man, and he knew all along. He's always known that little creep. He's grew up spying and watching from afar, with Miss Robinson, might I add, his mom. But she could never have predicted that he'd try to seduce her, lie to her straight to her face, and then keep it under wraps. His whole political career.
Seems very, very angry at the moment, but I don't think that's what's brought this about, is it really?
Oh, but it is. He's done everything in his power to hurt his mom. Everything to drive her to the edge. To push her to the breaking point. And on top of that, take away the supply that he very well knows. He's been around this stuff his whole life. To take away the supply of the one thing that's keeping this town together, the one thing that's stopping from everyone dropping like flies. Now Sheila's dead. Now, who knows who else is dead at this point?
A lot of people.
Edgar's dead. Susanna dead. It's all his fault. He started this chain of events.
James looks at Peter like,
Peter looks like he's like, so what? We loved each other. Listen, I had nothing but the best interests of this town in mind. What am I supposed to do? Just let everyone run around drugged up all the time? My mom, she specially designed this drug so that people would rely on it. They couldn't live without it, literally. It doesn't get more evil than that, and you're trying to make it seem like I'm the bad guy in all this. And as he says that, he kind of has to like lock his jaw back into place because he feels it like move out of place, and there's like a little crack.
I feel like you're not telling everything, Peter.
Yeah, sure, I had some secrets. We all have secrets. It's Poplar fucking Lane.
Well, get on with it.
Well, beyond my wife and beyond my relationship to one of the most renowned drug dealers in the area, I don't really, I mean, sure, like, what, I rig a few elections here and there and take some money out of the corporate accounts, like, fuck, we all do stupid shit like that, but that's not the real root of the issue. I'm sure you've done some dark shit.
Don't put me in the same basket as you, mate, but keep going.
Listen, there's nothing I could say at this point that could save me. And there's nothing you could say that is going to save yourself, and we're all fucked here. So you can keep trying and looking for answers, but at the end of the day, we're all gonna either die. You're gonna die of, you're gonna die pretty soon. I mean, only got a couple hours left. And he looks up towards Henry and Lawrence. I mean, unless you go running back to your supplier, hopefully she's doing all right. And the rest of you guys have a lot of blood on your hands. There's no getting out of this one. That crime scene that you left at my house, you think that you're gonna walk out of there with your hands clean? No. And I've known I've been fucked since Linda died. So I've resigned to that. And I was trying to leave Sally out of this. Maybe Sally could have gotten away from it all, and if I had left and you'd let me walk away, James, but you made me think twice. You made me question myself, and now I'm here.
This is not my fault. He points the gun at Peter. This is not my fault. You're not gonna make your mistake my fault. If there's anybody in this room, it's the 3. He looks back, if Jemiah is there. If Jemiah is there, 4 of us who have been trying to figure out for you, not so much even for us, but for you, who did this to clear your name, because everybody was on your ass, and I told you that. And I said that I would have your back. We've been going through all this. If not for you, then for Sally. So don't make your problems mine.
Everything was going fine. Linda would have never found out. Linda would have never died. Miss Robinson would have never cracked if Mr. Goodman over here, pointing to Henry, hadn't spilled the fucking beans the night of my election party. Ruining, and I don't know whether you did that on your own accord or Miss Robinson put you up to it. Whatever your motive was, what did you think? What did you think was gonna happen, Henry? What could you possibly gain from telling my wife about me? And Henry, he looks like he hesitates for a moment, as if he's what Peter is saying is making him think twice, maybe he has a point, but he kind of pulls him. It looks like he rallies and he says, "You know what? Miss Robinson told me to tell her because she knew." Listen, she's got Robinson blood. She knew that Linda wasn't gonna let that slide. That Linda was gonna do something about it, and she was going to. I mean, it helped that Miss Robinson gave her a little boost before, a few hours before you got home from work that day. But you were supposed to be the one that died that night. You were supposed to be the one, not Linda. And Peter looks down and he's like, "You know what? At this point, I wish I was the one that went down that night." And Henry spits on the floor.
Do you know, Jemiah, go on.
Jemiah's gonna walk up and slap Peter. And she's gonna say, "Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop passing blame, all of you. People are dying, children are hurt, and it's because you can't get over your pride. So sit down and fix it." And she's gonna walk back to behind James.
I have to agree, this is all very interesting, but the hows and whys really aren't helping us right now. We need to start thinking of how we can move forward. People are dying.
Well, there's one person here in this room who has the authority to make either things happen or disappear. And he gestures at Peter. There's a lot that needs to be disappeared at this point. You're the only one who can even attempt to do such a thing.
Listen, you and I both know that the only way anything's gonna get better at this point is if people get the drugs that they need. And thanks to your foolishness, waving over at Benji, that might not ever happen. There's no way there would be enough supply at this point. And Henry's like, he's right. That's the only... Henry like looks at Peter like he has like a point. Like the only thing that could help right now is getting people drugs.
Yes. I can help with that. We have an RV with about half a ton for immediate supply and a chemist working on more. Don't ask me how, don't ask me why. That's what I have. How can we use that to fix the problem?
So when you say foolishness, what you really meant was like IQ 600.
Subjective, but okay.
Henry puts his nose up and looks at Peter. You need to turn yourself in. With all those drugs.
How is that gonna help?
Well, you tell them, you take responsibility, Peter, and you give them the stash, and you tell them what needs to you tell the hospitals what needs to happen. You take responsibility and you get the blame for it.
Henry, I have enough evidence to incriminate you within a flash. Why aren't you walking up and handing over everything and doing whatever you just suggested?
You're kidding, right? After all this, you still think that I'm the bad guy? That you think that Lawrence and I, who just got wrapped in all this shit, you think when we bought our first dose of Adrenarol, we knew that any of this was going to go down?
All right, thank you, Henry. Solving the problem. I don't think handing ourselves over to the police and giving them all the drugs will solve the problem. Those drugs will end up in an evidence pen. Peter will end up in a cell, and the hospitals will carry on struggling ahead. More people will go in, the ER rooms will be overflown, and... Is your supply chain still in place?
It's a shell of what it once was, but I'm sure we still have some agents that haven't fallen.
All right. You've got mules, and I've got product. You start doing that at first. James, what do you say?
It could function like a Metaton bus. In the sense that, like you said, you give people what they need and you decrease the dosage
Wean them
until
off.
they don't. That's the only way anybody's going to get out of here alive. And honestly, and he looks at Daniel, I'm okay with doing that.
That's the way ahead, then.
Tell you what, though, you three, pointing to the Goodmans and to Peter, are gonna have to fall in line. Have to do what Daniel says. No questions.
What do we do with Miss Robinson?
What can she still do?
Nothing. I say we kill her.
Are not painting yourself in a good light.
Listen, none of us are the good guys at this point.
I'm a pretty good guy.
Difference between being a good guy and having at least some kind of moral. Preserving life will be the aim of the day, I think.
Yes.
Seems
So
to
I'm
me
assuming you have Dr. Winters then. You have this grand plan to produce.
obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then we spend the rest of...
You keep going until your client list diminishes to 0. Either because people are dead, which is not your responsibility, it is their own choice to refuse your rehab treatment, so to speak, or because they are no longer reliant on your stuff. What needs to be a baseline here is that we are fixing this and not doing this to continue a business and source of income. Because the second that happens, I'm setting the entire stash on fire.
A lot of these people are loyal to Miss Robinson, but she has contacts in the police.
I know who they are.
Then we should use them to protect ourselves.
I mean, she's no longer offering them anything.
That's right.
There's no reason for them to be loyal to her. She's nothing but an old woman with a huge grudge, maybe a gun.
And you have their only chance of survival.
That's right. They work for us now.
Seems that way to me.
Well, you're not leaving us with many options.
I wasn't planning on doing so.
I guess we're in.
I guess you are. Until you're not anymore.
After the stash is gone and the client list is empty, we part ways, and I will destroy all the evidence.
But don't tell me you're just gonna let Peter walk off scot-free.
Let's keep that for long-term examination.
Funny, for a lawyer, you're very set on vengeance.
I mean, I think a number of lawyers, a lot of cases I've taken throughout my life have been motivated by vengeance. I don't think it's such a wild stretch for me to have a little bit of built up anger after years and years of being manipulated with no chance of escape than other than death.
They have therapy for that. It helps really good. I
Right.
recommend it.
James, I don't think he was talking to us. He might have been talking to himself just a little bit.
Still a suggestion?
Go and make good on these contacts then, shall we?
I agree. We've got more work to do. Peter, I'm going to take one of your shirts.
Finally.
I've just realized that whole scene without this. I'll add the...
Yep. The whole thing.
You got some like, well, whose blood was it that was left, that was on your abs?
I don't know at this point. Like,
It was someone's blood.
people bump up against me and they just get cut. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It was From Jemiah's hand, I forgot whose blood it was.
It was the doctor's like.
Oh, the doctor's
nose
blood.
spit
Yeah.
blood.
Nose.
All
Yeah,
right,
his nose blood. Right, that's what it was. I mean, can we at least tie him up or something?
What? Why?
I don't know. I'm just mad at him.
You punched him. It's been good. You deal with your feelings. I'm mad at you too, and I'm not shooting you in the knee, even though I really want to. Trust me.
We gotta play nice now. There's a lot of work to do. A lot of people to save. We're gonna do a lot of good today.
Yeah. We're gonna do a lot of good today. I think that's is that a place to fade to black kind of thing? I don't know. I really don't know at this point because it's like.
Hang on. I'm gonna
do a lot of good today.
I want to ask Daniel. Hey, James wasn't serious when he said he was gonna burn the whole thing, right? Like we've got a job after this, right?
We'll see, Benji. We'll see.
We will.
I think it would be nice if we did like a fast forward little time skip moment.
Okay.
So first of all, what, like, in a summary of like over the course of the next couple months, like what do you guys do? I think we should go around and like just like each of you can give us a little summary of like what your character where your character takes things from there and handles themselves over the next couple of months. And if you have questions about what happens to other characters, I can answer those as well. If that's something you guys want to do.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, so why don't we start with Jemiah?
Well, Jemiah definitely helps out with all of the druggy stuff, but also takes a more intentional than it already was interest in Sally. And I think that should the opportunity arise, wants to take Sally out of that situation. So however that happens, whether it's something where she waits till it's over and then goes for it, or if she just convinces her to stay with her more, I think that that's what she invests her time and energy into.
Is this like an adoption situation?
Jordan's knowledge. She can adopt her just for the sole reason that parents' custody has to be terminated. But it might be like a temporary emergency custody, like conservatorship situation.
This is why it's always good to have someone that works. Could this be described? Would that be social work? Or,
yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's a mix of a bunch of.
Yeah, it's always good to have someone that works in that world.
And
Am I a celebrity?
No.
Are you a celebrity?
Like I didn't know if she was like
to be like an internet. She's definitely
Like an influencer.
Oh, right,
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah. Adoption kidnapping. So, anyways, so in other words, she makes all the decisions. She would love to make all the decisions for her and be like a parent. But however legally that happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen legally, then she's still insanely invested.
Yeah, we can figure out what happens to Peter once we get through everyone, and then see where that ends up. So, Benjamin Jackson, what are you doing after this run-in in the basement?
After we save everybody, like, depending on what Daniel's up for, the whole goal here is to essentially become like Jonah Hill's character from War Dogs. and I'll buy like as many like button-up T-shirts I can, but just never button them up.
Okay.
You guys know what I'm saying? Like we're like we're
Yeah.
running it, like we're running the business, and like I've got
With
I've
your
got sunglasses
wheelbarrow?
on. No, we got other people to push
Oh.
wheelbarrows now.
Right. You're in the big leagues.
That's right. I'm not the boss, but I'm like,
Good for you, Benji.
Yeah.
Good. And what about you, James?
I think James is he's very busy keeping a very tight leash on everything. I think he's also at some point going to check out Mrs. Robinson to confirm to what extent she is a threat.
Yeah, when you check in on Miss Robinson, you can tell that all between her son and her daughter's death and the recent catastrophe of her business and livelihood, the destruction of a huge, like, millions of dollars worth of her supply that she's been working on for years, a recipe that she spent her whole life dedicated to perfecting. At this point, she's kind of like off her rocker, and it's clear to you that the whole buildup and her little killing Susanna and all that was like in a bout of kind of like she's losing her mind, and at this point she seems like a shell of a person with her after her leg is broken and her body's taken a serious physical toll, and she's turned into just like a nutty old lady.
James paid to have a front window fixed and a back window fixed, preferably before she gets home.
Mm-hmm. Do you leave the dummy?
No, I think he's gonna go in first to remove the dummy. He places it in a wheelbarrow in Benji's backyard.
Good.
He just leaves it there. Here you go.
Oh, nice.
Here's your son back, and he's sort of like he lets Daniel, I guess, sort of like play head, but I think he's very much behind Daniel, looking at what is happening and coordinating it as far as that is possible, keeping a very tight grip on all the evidence he's collected, knowing very well that he's sitting on a blackmail gold mine. And he calls his daughter, and that does not work out terribly.
Very nice. And last but not least, Daniel, what do you do after that night's event?
Well, obviously, as we are healing everyone, weaning everyone off of the drugs, I will be being as good a boy as I can possibly be, especially knowing that James is watching everything. However, I think James would be quite pleased to see me encourage Dr. Winters to try and develop a string of I forgot what it's called, adrenaline that is non-lethal, that will not kill you. You wean off. Create a non-lethal string, even if it's weaker, And obviously, I wouldn't do anything with that. I wouldn't do a thing at all. I wouldn't get Benji to learn the recipe or anything like that. And I certainly wouldn't be making any phone calls to any contacts at any other airports and saying something along the lines of, no, I can't do anything here. There's a guy who's watching everything I do, but perhaps you can do something there.
So, being friends with Daniel for a very long time and always sharing in his what would you have, like some kind of brandy?
Always.
Yeah.
Although, yeah, it never really came about. But Daniel doesn't drink. He's been drinking apple juice the whole time.
Really?
Yeah, the whole time. Every time when you all thought that
Man.
Daniel drove drunk.
And you know, that's not like something that Scrat's saying now after the fact. Like he established that like when we did like character creation stuff.
that's
So this
fun.
has precedence. Yeah.
That's really
Mm.
Benjamin would absolutely be the Jonah Hill from War Dogs character then, like posing as the boss wherever Daniel sent him, and just come over to have some brandy every now and then with his buddy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Except deliver lots of money.
Totally legally though.
And yeah, and with that I feel like, and Helen of course supports your endeavors in whatever you do. What did she call you? Snuffle bottom
Snuffle
something.
butt.
Snuffle butt. And with that, you know, I think we can end with the intro music just one last time. That's the end of Poplar Lane. An affair on Poplar Lane. What a wild ride, you guys.
Jay,
Oh my
this has
God.
been amazing.
Amazing.
Well done, Jay.
Thanks. It was
Well-
a lot of
well
fun.
done.
You guys are so fun.
For all of the shenanigans and everything, and you still got us to unwrap everything in the final session.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, there was so much. I just like rambles. Like, I was just like, I want to like put all of this like planning to use. So
No. It didn't feel that way. It wasn't like Lost, where they were like, "Oh shit, it's the last season. We gotta
Yeah.
like we were telling a story." Hang on. It was so much better than that. It was like I was with you the whole time.
Yeah, and it felt
Awesome.
natural as
Sounded-
well. Like, it
Mhm.
didn't feel like we hurried to the end. It felt like everything unraveled in a timely manner. It was amazing. Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was just a ton of fun. I just love your shenanigans, all of you guys. It was a very good old time.
Well,
We
since
didn't go
it's
to jail.
we did not go to jail.
No.
Although
I
I'm-
said it.
I might in the future, but I haven't gone to jail yet. Well, since it's the finale, why don't we all go around and just say who we are and where we can find each other? We'll still roll the credits, but last thoughts, favorite part of the season, perhaps. That's what we'll do. Don't worry about where we can find you because that's in the credits. But tell us what your favorite part of the season was. Why don't we start? We'll go the other way around the screen and start with Kai.
This was amazing. I'm so glad I got to be a part of this. Favorite part of the season. Oh God, help me. I think. Can I just say everything Benji did? Like as a collective, like whenever Benji would barge into something, that was terrific.
That's what I'm here for, man.
It
You
was
just
so good.
barge in.
Yeah. Fair. Totally fair. Just Benji as a favorite thing. Got it.
Yeah, I'm so glad that the whole situation worked out as it did, that everybody got where they got, even though it was completely batshit. We didn't just take a detour, we like looped for
Yeah.
a couple of rounds before.
Like in the plane.
Establish
Yeah,
where the
pretty
line
much.
was. We set up a ramp and we.
Yo!
It's like, yeah. This was great. I loved it. Thank you, Jay, for running this. This is amazing.
About next round, Jordan.
Hiya. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think the wheelbarrow is probably my favorite little snippet. But also I really loved the authenticity and the depth of the characters, the NPCs that you created, Jay. Like, it was insane to interact with such a variety of people who had, like, it wasn't just surface level And so it was really amazing, and the story was great, and I'm still shook. So I'm just gonna stay in this space for a hot minute because it was so good. And I'm really happy that I got to do it with you guys because y'all are fantastic role players and amazing players and great people. So
You
Oh,
too.
That's really sweet. Damn.
Hey, Matt.
Hey. So all right. I got two if you'll allow me. I'll be quick. So the one moment that sticks out in my head is so when James was like climbing up in the tree, but then he fell out of the tree, and but like all of us were doing something there. I really felt like kind of that scene, even though like everything like shit was just hitting the fan and then just getting like spread out across the room, and it was just a mess. I felt like that particular scene was when we really started like falling in together and being like, all right, we're a unit here. We're a trash unit, but we're a unit, and so I really felt that in that scene. But also kind of just through the whole thing, the character that Benji turned out to be, and the dynamic between him and Daniel and Jemiah, and like what was happening and what's going on in the overarching plot and everything was all a lot of fun. James's the way Kai took James and was a part of it all, but also at the same time I think the real moments with James were something that was like, listen, this isn't just like a circus, these are real people, and feeling those moments was really cool. And I think something of like a wide variety of experience for the audience. I would say, just because you tune in, you don't know what you're going to get, what kind of energy you're going to take away from a show like this, and you did get I feel like a wide variety of things, but that is only because of James and Jay, going back and forth on that.
Yeah. My favorite parts involve the kid, Sally Reese, and I never actually interacted with her, but I just really enjoyed her as a character, and like I knew there was something important about her, and then in the last final episode for it to just be like, oh fuck, that I thought that was masterful. Okay, that's my favorite character, favorite bit was that. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a whole bunch of shenanigans which are also very much in there, but they've been mentioned by everyone. Jay.
Wow. I'm just so happy to hear that you guys were having a good time. Like that's like, I mean, obviously like from like the DM perspective, this was my first like full campaign that I've ever run. I've only done like 2 one-shots before this. So I was so nervous. But you guys, and like literally like every week I'd get nervous all over again. But you guys are just like so much fun, and like so like you just like get it. I don't know. I just feel like you just like we were on the same page about like the vibe, and like it just all really went well. But some of my favorite bits, I'm just gonna like go through a couple that come to my mind. One would be like the whole interaction between James and Sheila with like the B&E, and like that was like really fun and just like hilarious. I mean, even like the cookies and like the tree thing, like just anything James and Sheila, like they were just such a funny match, like just like really weird, because James is so serious of like all the characters, and then Sheila's like really out there, so that was a lot of fun. Of course, like Benji and like the wheelbarrow, the shirtless counter, like all that stuff is so fun and funny. I love the pilot scene, like what's the word, when you were flying, when you guys Benji and Daniel were flying together, like that was really funny, and a lot of fun. And Daniel, when he just like went in there and infiltrated with the wheelbarrow, like that was also like one of the tense moments, because I feel like there's a lot of the game was like kind of like one thing after another, and like everything took its time. But then like that whole like when you guys found the stash, things like escalated really quickly, and like that was exciting to DM and also just to like be a part of. So, but yeah, I don't know, but overall like I just had a really good time with you guys. So, yeah.
you said about us getting the vibe as well. That's another great thing about this. Jay, the music all season has been so on it. Sometimes so good that you can't even notice it, which is a strange kind of compliment. But sometimes when the music matches the feel so much, it was like hypodermal, you know? It was great. It was just straight under the skin. You 100% nailed it.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, well, that was it. That's the finale. We are going to go on a raid. Let's load up the raid cries. I don't know if you've got chat open or not, Jay, but we've got in here. You absolutely killed it, Jay. Yay, Jay. Jay, you were phenomenal. People talking about the tree movements being great. That was fantastic. Jay did amazing. All sorts of great stuff. All sorts of great stuff. Everyone loved it. We're going to go on a raid. We're going to go on a raid. Did we have a raid cry? I think I saw someone typing a raid cry out earlier. If not, we'll go with our classic raid cry of Let's Evoke Emotions. Heck it, let's just go with Let's Evoke Emotions. We're gonna go and raid
your feelings.
Deal with your feelings. Oh
Yes,
my
that
god. That is it. That is it right there.
It's just synonyms for let's evoke emotion.
Yeah. Deal with your feelings.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that hits hard. Okay, deal with your feelings. That's the raid cry. We're gonna go on a raid. We're gonna play the credits first. We'll be back in a couple of hours with Doors of Dunera, where Satine Phoenix will be joining us for the finale, so long as the fires in Beverly Hills don't creep across and make her need to evacuate. Anyway, we're gonna be there. We'll see you in a couple of hours, everyone. Keep on evoking emotions. Bye.